I've had multiple calls reporting at least 15 cars overturned near the intersection of I-30 and 190.
Receive, we have had a touchdown. We're working it as much as we can. We will get some help over there as quickly as we can.
Get in your tornado shelters right now. Protect yourself from any flying debris. Get as low as you can. Put as many walls in between you and the outside. Don't rush up to the window trying to look and see anything. You're not going to see anything.
Tonight, stories of survival.
I heard all the windows smashing.
The baby was just 2 days old, 2 days.
And of lives that were lost.
Go in the house, go in the house.
Wave after wave of severe weather pounds North Texas. Tornadoes, torrential downpours, and hail. This is a live picture here from Garland, one of several North Texas cities raked by tornadoes.
The blanket of night hides some of the wreckage, but the damage is too extensive to camouflage completely. Good evening, I'm Meredith Land.
And I'm Brian Curtis. The weather story of this weekend after Christmas is almost unbelievable.
I just confirmed with Garland police that there are 5 confirmed deaths just in this immediate area where we are at 190 and I-30, and I want you to take a look behind me here at this scene that we're looking at. You can see the cars flipped upside down. They've actually moved some of the cars out of the area right now, but Garland police say those cars at one point were on I-30.
I cannot believe that this amount of damage was done in probably 30 seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. It did. It's awful. I'm sorry. I'm a teacher, and we have kids in this neighborhood, and their houses are gone.
I am standing in the middle of that impressive damage path left behind by that tornado. Tonight, this neighborhood here in Garland, it is dark, it is eerily quiet. All of the families have left, and behind me, you can of course see the reason why that EF4 tornado, it literally marched down this street. The only thing visible by a light, damage. Home after home, ripped to shreds by a massive tornado.
I heard the roaring and stepped outside and saw it coming this direction, and had enough time to get me and the dogs into my bathroom. And that's when about all the power went out and everything was black, and it just started hitting, the whole house started shaking.
Outside, winds close to 200 miles per hour ripped apart Justin Schuler's house. Minutes later, the twister was in Liz Del Monte's neighborhood.
I heard all the windows smashing. There's trampolines and chimneys being flown throughout the neighborhood.
You can just see how extensive this damage is.
Yeah, this is an area with obviously some kind of office buildings there and multi-home establishments here. It looks like apartments, townhomes here. There were also single-family homes. I want to bring Brian James in now because we saw the path of destruction here, Brian, and you could see how it tore through Garland.
Yeah, and one of the things that we were looking at when Ames had the wide shot all the way out is you could see the path, but you could also see the variance in the width of the path. You look at the path that it took, and you can also see there is more intense damage in a few areas. So overall, this will have one rating, an EF rating that goes with it, but that doesn't mean the entire path of it was that strong.
Well, I don't have a building, I still have a church.
From the pulpit at Harvest of Praise Ministry Church,
My office.
Pastor Kevin Taylor often preaches about faith. But when he arrived here Saturday evening with his wife, he had no idea that his faith would be put to the test as a violent tornado barreled toward them.
Tried to run down the hallway to kind of get to some kind of safety.
But it was too late, and in an instant, the church Taylor built nearly a decade ago came crashing down with a mighty vengeance.
Everything went black, stuff fell on top of me.
This is a Beanie Baby that one of my sister got for Christmas, so I'm gonna take this home to her.
Hunter Seck spent the day doing things no teenager should have to do, sifting through the rubble of what was once his home, looking for toys and heirlooms to cheer his family up back at the motel room.
They can't be replaced. It's the memories we have, and I mean, it's just times before this. A lot of ruined books and stuff. It's just, when you were safe, it's a sense of security.
That sense of security is gone, Hunter says, but his sense of family is strong.
This door right here was the one that the tornado threw my dad through.
The outpouring of help from just people I don't even know. I've met more people this week, neighbors that I didn't know I had.
Volunteers offered support for Hunter, too.
I got spaghetti lunch in there, or I got a hot dog lunch.
But the 17-year-old soldiered on.
I should have came home an orphan, but God helped them. God saved them.
Thankful he has a future to make new memories with his family.
At NBC5, our I team is really a U team. Investigating problems, tracking down people taking advantage, and targeting those abusing their power. Because if there's one thing Texans love more than a good fight, it's a fight for good. NBC5 investigates. Doing what it takes to protect us is one more way that Texas connects us.
Soldiers injured in Iraq and Afghanistan. They return home, only to find there's no safe place to heal.
Now I'm sitting here being treated like, I've done something wrong.
A year-long investigation, hundreds of Army records.
Harassment and abuse, there is unacceptable in our force.
Zero
harassment,
tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
To uncover.
Reporting that sparked calls for change in Congress.
The investigative team, Scott Friedman in Texas,
launched 2 investigations and prompted the U.S. Army to take action nationwide. The combined resources of NBC5 and the Dallas Morning News investigate. Injured heroes, broken promises. Here is NBC5 senior investigative reporter Scott Friedman.
This is the story of soldiers who risked their lives on the battlefield. They came home with physical and mental wounds. The Army promised to care for them, but in interviews and hundreds of pages of records we've obtained, injured soldiers instead describe harassment, verbal abuse, mistreatment, and a lack of care. Soldiers who fought in some of the toughest places.
How often did you guys get shot at?
Almost every day.
They came home injured, physically, mentally, only to find themselves feeling under attack again.
How did they treat you?
Like a dirtbag.
Ridiculed, they say, harassed and threatened.
Humiliated.
By the commanders of special Army units created to help injured soldiers heal.
It hurts. It really does. I mean, and that kind of pain is way worse than anything physical.
Philip is not the only one to describe harsh treatment. You're looking at quotes from hundreds of Army documents. In page after page, soldiers describe harassment, disrespect, and mistreatment from WTU commanders. Terrifying moments on Texas roads. Wrong-way crashes continue to pile up. At least 280 people killed, 2,800 injured in just 4 years. Now TxDOT has a plan. The colored lines on this map show 7 Tarrant County freeways where dramatic changes are on the way. Last winter, NBC5 Investigates mapped all wrong-way crashes, pinpointing many of the same danger zones TxDOT will now focus on in Tarrant County. On this stretch of I-30 near Beach Street, 5 people have died in 3 devastating wrecks, including Tommy and Donna Davila's daughter, Sabrina, killed by a wrong-way driver with drugs in their system.
TxDOT should have done this a lot sooner.
But despite delays, the Davilas are now thrilled to see action.
I'm glad they're doing this. This is, like my wife said, it's shocking. It was shocking to us.
The hills of South Central Texas, about an hour from Austin. Not where you would expect someone to get infected with a tropical disease.
No, I've never left the United States. I've never even been on a cruise.
So it had to be here.
I was infected right here in Texas.
Candace Stark found out after donating blood.
I was definitely not expecting to see this come in the mail.
The blood bank sent this letter saying routine screening found her blood tested positive for T. cruzi, the parasite that causes Chagas disease. Chagas often starts with flu-like symptoms, but can lead to serious heart problems and even death. Her doctors barely even heard of Chagas. It's common in South and Central America and Mexico, but not here. The parasite is spread by kissing bugs, insects that get their name because they typically bite at night on the face and lips. An adult forcing a child into a tiny padded room, knocking him to the ground, trapping him inside. This is not a psychiatric hospital. It's not a juvenile jail. It's a Plano ISD elementary school. The adult, a Plano ISD special ed teacher. The child, an 8-year-old boy with autism.
Your first reaction when you saw that video?
I wanted to throw up. I wanted to cry and throw up and scream, and somebody did something horrible to my child and I didn't know about it.
In the darkness, a raging fire.
You literally have seconds to get out of there.
Inside this house, a young boy and girl trapped.
If I could go back in time, I would beg my brother to close this door that night. Beg him so that he could be here.
Lexi King lost her brother Oliver that night 11 years ago in Corpus Christi. Her parents died in the fire too.
So this is about as real world as it's going to get. It's going to be really, really vision impaired.
To show you, we suited up with the Fort Worth Fire Department.
This goes over the back of your head?
At their new state-of-the-art training facility. Wearing air packs and safety gear, firefighters light a fire in a hallway outside a bedroom. I'm inside that bedroom with Lieutenant Kyle Faulkner. Using a thermal imaging camera, we can see the door is glowing from the heat of the fire out in the hallway.
What's the temperature on the other side of this door right now?
On the other side of the door, the temperature is approximately 600 degrees.
But the door is such an effective barrier that inside our room, the temperature is only about 100 degrees. Hot, but still survivable. To see how big an impact the door has, we're going to open it now to show you how the temperature changes.
So you can see just fine in here. There's just a little smoke coming in around the edges, but watch what happens when we open the door.
Immediately we see smoke, and the room gets hotter. With the door open and the smoke and heat coming in, the room temperature quickly rises to about 150 degrees.
All right, we have a breaking news and weather situation ongoing. This is going to be in Denton County, in Sanger. We have a water rescue that is taking place at this very moment.
Tornadoes, high water, and people in danger. Tonight we've watched rescue after rescue, from flooded homes to trucks underwater. And while crews work to save people from the flood, we've been working to keep you ahead of the storm. Some incredible rescue work. This one is from a creek in Sanger. You watched it play out live right here on NBC5 is breaking news. 2 men, as you can see, stranded on top of that truck as the water rages just inches from below them. The 2 men went from standing in the back to the roof on top of the truck. And get this, that is when I actually started live tweeting with one of those men. He said, quote, "It was like out of a movie. It was a foot deep, and then a massive wave pushed me off the road and flooded it out." Minutes later, he was saying they are waiting on a helicopter to come get us.
A deadly tornado in the dark of night.
1 minute we were fine, going to bed. The next minute, everything's gone.
Broken homes scattered across this Texas town.
Tonight, the cleanup that's bringing people together.
I love y'all.
And the new threat that could wash out your week.
We begin with new information out of Van tonight. Officials say everyone there has been accounted for, but cadaver dogs are still checking the area just to be safe.
Another tip has led to another trip into Van's hardest hit neighborhood for John Thorne.
Trying to find people.
That's not necessarily the job you'd expect out of a state game warden, but then he doesn't work alone.
Justin, here.
Justin is one of 4 search and rescue dogs the state game wardens are using in the Van area to search for survivors.
You ready? You ready? State police, state game warden, search and rescue. Send a dog, make some noise so we can find you.
This has been the same scene several times today.
State game warden, search and rescue. Send a dog, make some noise so we can find you. Search.
And we were there as a neighboring county, Smith County deputies and their K-9 unit went door to door. They were looking for those who could possibly still be trapped under the rubble of their own homes. They were looking, they were listening in wide open fields, and they were also carrying with them 1 can of orange spray paint. And when they came across a home that they searched and they didn't find anybody, they marked a big X over that home. And that neighborhood just behind me, there are a lot of X's tonight. There are a lot of families trying to figure out where they go from here. And tonight we introduce you to just one of them.
Everything is gone.
For those who live here,
Looks like a war zone is what it looks like.
the devastation is just sinking in.
All I can remember hearing is everything just pulling off.
This is what's left of Kimberly Shane's house.
I don't want to see.
It's a total loss.
I'm still in disbelief. I mean, 1 minute we were fine, taking showers and going to bed, cozy, to the next minute everything's gone.
Kimberly's community has rallied together, her kids' classmates, even complete strangers.
I'm gonna put this right here.
All doing what they can to ease the pain.
Guys, I want you to know that when I saw y'all walking toward my house, it meant the world to me, okay? There's no way we could have done this. Y'all know that. I love y'all. You're not even mine.
Love you, Mom.
I love you, baby.
We're being shot at headquarters, police headquarters. We have an active shooter with a high-power rifle at the front of...
A war zone near downtown Dallas.
Shots fired, shots fired.
As one man wages an attack on Dallas police.
We believe this suspect meant to kill officers.
Innocent bystanders narrowly escaping. The gunman killed. His family left to explain why.
Every one of us has a breaking point.
And you are taking a live look at Dallas Police Headquarters, riddled with bullets and very much an active crime scene. Investigators are expected to remain on site throughout the night.
Concerned there could be additional bombs and weapons inside, police sent robots to check the van. Chopper 5 flew overhead as they detonated what officials confirm were at least 2 pipe bombs.
Something, some young kids. Woo! Man, that thing's loaded, man, with ammunition, man.
As officers tried to detonate some kind of weapon mounted on the van, it caught fire, setting off live rounds. Police yelled at neighbors to get down. Officers blocking the road ducked for cover behind their cars.
Crazy. Never thought in Hutchins, at our places, that we'd see something like this.
Once the popping stopped, fire crews put out the blaze, and then officers and federal ATF agents moved in.
Tonight we have a decision in the American Sniper case.
Jurors in Stephenville found Eddie Ray Routh guilty of murder. He receives an automatic life sentence. Routh was convicted of capital murder in the shooting deaths of Chris Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield. Kyle's autobiography was the inspiration for the movie American Sniper.
We, the jury, find the defendant Eddie Ray Routh guilty of the felony offense of capital murder as charged in the indictment. That verdict is signed by Ms. Stafford as foreperson of the jury.
We just want to say that we've waited 2 years for God to get justice for us on behalf of our son.
Tonight, McKinney under the microscope. Video goes viral of police responding to a pool party.
New video of the incident.
Why are you dragging her? What is she doing?
And a new perspective from a witness.
McKinney police tell us they responded to this pool party because they were getting complaints for the folks that live here, that some of the teens in attendance were not part of this HOA, part of this community. They were also responding to a fight, but it's that police response that has sparked outrage all over the globe and an internal investigation at the McKinney Police Department.
At that moment, that's when I pulled out my phone and started recording.
Jade Bakari captured this on her phone. A teen on the ground, an officer holding the teen down. It happened at a pool party at a community pool at Craig Ranch North. It had been heavily promoted on social media.
And there's already a lot of people at the pool already.
Many of those in attendance were not part of the community. McKinney police say that's one reason they were called to the pool. And this was the other reason, a fight captured on another cell phone between an adult woman and what seems like a teen. Moments later, officers from McKinney rolled onto the scene. Literally, they had dispersed the crowds, and this officer in particular was yelling, using some profanity.
At this point, we're investigating. It would be premature for me to comment on any of that.
The boy says he carried a homemade clock to show his MacArthur High School engineering teacher, but police handcuffed him for a hoax bomb. This is a story you'll see only on NBC 5.
I really don't know where I learned it from.
Ahmed Mohammed says he likes tinkering with things, wants to be an inventor, and wanted to show what he can do as he starts high school as a freshman.
I took it to school to show my teachers the talent that I had. I want to show them. And in my perspective, it didn't look like a bomb.
But at MacArthur High School yesterday, that's exactly what he says the second teacher who saw his homemade clock thought it was. Police handcuffed and arrested him and took him to Irving Police Headquarters for interrogation on hoax bomb.
I really don't think it's fair at all, because I just brought something to school that wasn't a threat to anyone.
The president said he thought the clock was cool, so will Ahmed accept the White House invitation to show the president in person?
Yes.
The president never mentioned Ahmed Mohammed in Astronomy Night remarks, but did encourage his kind of enterprise.
We have to watch for and cultivate and encourage those glimmers of curiosity and possibility.
They did speak briefly as Barack Obama left, a visit to the White House, far from MacArthur High School.
It was along this street Ethan Couch's run came to a sudden end. This photo, snapped by a neighbor, captured the scene when Mexican police took the so-called Affluenza teen and his mother into custody. Locals tell us the Couches were staying right up there in that second-floor apartment. People around here say they saw the two milling around the area, but didn't think much of it.
Tonight, marriage equality is the law of the land.
Take a look at the White House. This is a picture behind us. Floodlights reflect the colors of the rainbow flag, the universal symbol for gay pride. The U.S. Supreme Court this morning announced its decision. Same-sex couples should be allowed to marry.
By the authority vested in me by the Constitution of the United States, I pronounce you spouses for life.
Just hours after the Supreme Court's landmark decision, the very first same-sex couple marries in Dallas County.
Stamped and signed with the crowd of other couples in line behind them. But not everyone in North Texas is celebrating tonight.
Whenever you counterfeit something, you cheapen the value of the real thing. And make no mistake about it, gay marriage is counterfeit marriage.
This is Lone Star Politics from NBC5 and the Dallas Morning News.
This morning, one-on-one with the candidates.
We have a good connection to Texas.
Well, it's great to be home.
As the political spotlight shines on North Texas.
I think what's clear is that all roads to the White House come through Texas.
Plus, a pledge of allegiance.
To the Republican Party and the conservative principles for which it stands.
Politics sometimes is part entertainment.
There are two ways to run, scared and unopposed.
And part serious business.
I'm not unopposed.
On Lone Star Politics.
And good Sunday morning and welcome to Lone Star Politics. This is when NBC5 teams up with the Dallas Morning News to focus on politics here in DFW. This week, Senator Ted Cruz brought his message to voters at the Fort Worth Stockyards before sitting down with NBC5's political reporter Julie Fine. She asked him why it was important to sign a pledge to the Republican Party.
But I think we should stand together. I think a third party run this time around would do a lot of damage.
Charlotte Jones Anderson's influence in the NFL reaches far beyond the offices here at Valley Ranch. She is a critical part of the Cowboys organization. She's also one of the most powerful women in the NFL. She tells me it was time to speak out about the controversial signing of Greg Hardy. Other teams passed on Greg Hardy. The Cowboys didn't. How did this deal happen?
You know, we certainly recognized the seriousness of this issue, and we recognize the complexity of domestic violence in general. And we knew that with this issue, that from the leading experts that we had been associated with and had talked to, that the best path for domestic violence is to provide a path out. And that is the best way to protect victims and prevent future violence.
That was 186 miles an hour, the exact speed you would travel between Dallas and Houston.
Eventually, the Texas trains would run even faster, more than 200 miles an hour. But the Japanese are perhaps most proud of the train's safety record.
Right now we are inside one of the biggest maintenance facilities. They work 24/7 here, to make sure everything on these trains is running perfectly.
In 5 decades, no passenger has ever died or been injured in a Japanese bullet train accident. 0. It is a remarkable run.
You are looking here at the Texas Thunder Truck. It's a mobile weather lab designed to take you into the storm.
Tonight we are firing it up for the very first time to give you an edge. It will help you see the first signs of how dangerous this storm can be.
Basically, this is 2 trucks in one. It is a weather truck and it is a communication truck. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Front seat, where I will be sitting tonight, I have access to multiple cameras throughout the truck, but I also have my own radar that's being sent to me via satellite. We have a radar that is right on top of the truck here if we want to get a closer look at what is going on with rain, with storms, whatever. So we've got the front seat. In the back seat, it's basically like a television studio in an F-250. We have all the bells, the whistles, the TV gizmos that gets this thing on the air. It's very important to understand this truck is a communication truck. This right here is a satellite dish. We can send our signal up to the stars and out to you from any place in the world.
Winter storm warning. And the ice is here.
Schools are closed and road crews are out from Dallas to Fort Worth.
We're in Tarrant County with our eyes on TxDOT, where they've been treating the roads for hours.
And tonight, we're sending our weather expert into the storm.
Morning, I'm hitting the road in our Texas Thunder Truck.
So you can stay one step ahead of the ice.
We have crews watching every corner of North Texas as you prepare for a major ice storm.
Now, it's not just the bridges and overpasses. I want you to look over here. It's the roadways as well. They are starting to get very slick here at the Mixmaster. Speeds are definitely reduced. And about an hour ago is when Fort Worth Fire started reporting ice accumulating here.
A winter storm whiteout.
I never believed the meteorologists, but they were right.
Schools cancel early.
Hundreds head out, jamming the roads just as the conditions got worse.
And our Texas Thunder Truck is rolling as drivers attempt to maneuver the slick roads and try to stay out of trouble.
The snow may be ending, but the danger is still very real.
Right now, deadly road conditions and streets shut down.
Roads will continue to deteriorate.
Ice is coating North Texas. School closings are pouring in. Tonight, North Texas has had it with winter.
Here's their first obstacle they're going to have to tackle is all the snow on top of their cars they're going to have to clear off. But it's also important to note here where we saw 7 inches of snow for all the kids who are off school up here. If you want to know what this snow is like, well, it's not really packing too well. It's kind of a light, fluffy snow, so I don't know how good it's going to be for snowmen. But I do have, an alternative for you of what you can do out here in front of Texas Thunder. We can make snow angels out here all day. 7 inches of snow, you can make some pretty good snow angels. So again, not packing too well, but could be a lot of fun as long as you're staying home and staying safe. Grant?
Excellent. Texas is more than a state. It's a state of mind. I'm Chris Gutierrez, and I grew up here, so this will always be home. And now I'm hitting the road to explore what Texas KXAS means to you. Who are the people, or where are some of the places that make our state truly unique? Share your Texas-sized story at TexasKXAS@NBCDFW.com. You make this a place we're all proud to call home. NBC 5.
At the Boys and Girls Club in Dallas, 300 kids compete in this Math Blazers competition, an event put together by Comcast NBC Universal, parent company of NBC 5. Volunteers from our station sharing a little knowledge with these young minds.
Comcast Cares Day. It's only on the calendar once a year, but at NBC5, it's any day that we can give back and help make Texas a better place to live, work, and play. As Texans, we are all connected, and making a difference in our community gives us all a sense of pride. We are proud to help the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Dallas make a difference in the lives of children. NBC5, Texas KXAS.
shelters once packed with pets now have empty cages. You have to hear how many animals found their forever homes today. And we begin with North Texans opening their hearts and their homes to thousands of pets.
That's right. We were on the mission to clear the shelters, and you responded in a big way. This was the line outside of Dallas Animal Services. A lot of people braved the heat just to save the lives of animals.
How much of a difference does this make?
It makes a huge difference. You know, the summer months are the busiest time for all of us. So getting a chance to make sure that we've got the space for incoming animals, it's important and it saves lives.
Over 7 million animals enter a shelter every year, and most of them will never have a place to call home. That's why NBC5 and Telemundo 39 have teamed up with 55 local shelters to find forever homes for our furry friends. And you made it happen.
You ready for the numbers? 2,951 animals now have forever homes.
And over 18,000 pets adopted nationwide. North Texas, thank you for showing your Texas-size heart. NBC5, Texas connects us.
Our story begins when the air starts to get a little colder.
Stores get a lot busier.
Children make wishes, and grown-ups make plans.
It ends on Christmas morning with gifts under trees.
And the joy of knowing someone cares.
The NBC5 Salvation Army Angel Tree helps make every holiday story have a happy ending for children and seniors in need.
Go to a participating mall and adopt an angel today. Texas connects us.
NBC5 and the University of North Texas have partnered to create the largest known online archive of historical local television news.
Of course, I think it'll be Dick Nixon. I never have thought otherwise, and I see no reason now.
NBC5 is proud to be Texas' first television station and continues to convey that today through the Texas Connects Us brand. NBC5 and UNT are honored to offer access to more than 30 years of the events, the stories, and the people that shape North Texas.
Here at NBC5, we are very proud to say that we have told the story of North Texas for 67 years.
Recently, we entrusted decades of news film and scripts to the University of North Texas. UNT is digitizing this material and making it available to access for free online.
When reviewing this material, we found a lot of stories covering the fight for civil rights. Tonight, NBC5's Eric King introduces us to a man who changed a neighborhood.
In 1956, black and white was not just how we saw television, it was also how we saw each other.
The board has waited too long and given too little in the effort we are making for full integration.
In Mansfield, 5 African American students were turned away from an all-white high school where crowds hung effigies of black people. Around the same time, Lloyd Austin and his wife bought a home along North Judkins Street in Fort Worth.
Well, I asked him, would you sell it to a black man? He said, I'll sell it to anybody got some money.
Now, 91 years old, Austin remembers how people reacted to the first black family on the block.
They come in there, call them in names and everything, nigger this and nigger that.
Channel 5 was there as white people from across Fort Worth handed out flyers, painted signs, and then crowded around his home, trying to make him move.
I was irritated more than anything, because I hadn't done nothing to nobody.
After someone broke out his windows, Austin was fed up.
I take my rifle, just shot out there, and I don't know how I missed all them people.
Police then rushed the outsiders away, and most of the problems ended.
This year, 3 organizations are starting the new year with a big boost, thanks to NBC5 and Telemundo 39. Our stations and the NBC Universal Foundation awarded a portion of $100,000 to 3 nonprofits here in North Texas.
We asked people all over North Texas what Texas Connects Us means to them.
It comes down to the kindness that we show for one another.
We're one big family.
When you're living here, you're Texan.
We couldn't have said it better ourselves.
NBC5.
Texas Connects Us!
The song of a new day starts softly under a painted sky.
They have a whole different attitude when they get out here.
The chorus builds.
It's a rough life, isn't it, Blue?
and then peaks in a frenzy. It is feeding time on the farm. Welcome to a kind corner of Hood County, where morning is always glorious, because it almost never came.
I would imagine a lot of these animals would have been put down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
It's on again.
Sandy Walker is the soul of Second Chance Farm.
I see their purpose in life.
This is a place where special is ordinary and normal means something different.
We will turn down a perfectly normal, healthy animal for a deaf and blind one, for one that's starving to death.
This is what I do. This is what I do.
It's hard to miss Lorelei Mika.
Fine with me, going on a ride.
This second grader never stops.
Stop! Turn around.
Not for long, at least.
She likes to be the center of attention.
That's Mom, Tommy.
She's hyper, she's a mess, but she's super sweet and always wants to see the best in everybody.
That quality has helped this week.
My bike, it had Hello Kitty on it.
And I mean, she's only had it for a month, so I was really angry.
Someone stole Lorelei's bike from off of the front porch Monday night.
That bike, it was mine. It's not theirs, it's mine. If it wasn't theirs, they shouldn't have stolen.
That makes a mom mad.
Really mad. Makes me very mad.
So
she wrote that sign.
This sign.
To the person that stole my daughter's new bike, I hope you're proud of yourself for making a 7-year-old child cry. Congratulations, you have succeeded in becoming a lowlife. I mean, I'm tired of people taking my daughter's stuff, you know.
In the shadows of hard work, there is, masked deep within, a purpose that ignites perspiration. For Annalicia Sustaita, it was the reason to box, not the fighting itself, that revealed an incredible gift.
I still want to be that teenager, but when I'm in the ring and in the gym, it's just, I'm a totally different person.
At 16 years old, Annalicia throws punches like a pro. When you hear a guy that you're boxing say that you hit like a boy, what does that mean to you?
That means I'm doing it right.
I remember when her punches didn't hurt, and now I have to be very careful not to get hit by her punches because they do hurt. Whoa, you okay?
The Garland High School junior is the current United States welterweight champion in her division and will travel to Taiwan in April to represent the United States in a fight for the welterweight championship of the world. But boxing is a calling she nearly never discovered. Less than 3 years ago, Annalicia was almost unrecognizable, 65 pounds heavier, depressed, and brutally being bullied to the point she nearly gave up.
I had thoughts of suicide when I was in 8th grade. 8th grade, yes. And I was just like, I'm tired of it, and I just wanted to let go of everything. I felt like life would be better if I wasn't here.
We've been waiting on this for 3 years. We've been waiting on this for 4 years. We've been waiting on this since Lyles Junior High. Who remembers doing the Superman circuit? Remember 7:30 in the morning this summer. Tonight, it's time for it to pay off. We always wanted something extra, and this is why we wanted it right here. Lord, Lord, I'm only one. I'm only one. I am one. I am one. I cannot do everything. I cannot do everything. I can do something. I can do something. Get up in there, Jamil.
I'm their Uncle Phil. Get that money.
Had a way to go get it. Way to come off and get it. Hey, there we go. There we go. Hey, now you get your name in the paper, okay? Good job.
This game is about fun, especially on the high school level.
You gotta stay low. I can only tell you that so many times until you get blown away. You're gonna have to learn by experience, I guess. Come on, baby.
Get on it!
NBC5 News at 10.
Crash, and this young mother is on the move.
I'm just was an angry mama.
Tonight, incredible video of the takedown North Texans can't stop watching.
So I jumped out the car and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're in a school zone.
She had no idea she had just stopped an armed bandit on the run.
So while he was standing there, I made sure I told him, you better hope my son's okay.
Tonight, we are going to start with a gut-wrenching moment from a Dallas chase. We have put it in the big screen here because it is one of those moments we will never forget.
That is Jessica Leesman, a mom who had just had enough. We watched her confront a bandit live on our air just seconds after he crashed into the back of her minivan today. Police called Leesman a mama bear and then cautioned you should never do what she did.
But at the hospital, Leesman tells a different story, one of loss and never wanting another parent to go through what she has. It will take 2 reporters to bring you her story and the new details from the chase and arrest. We'll start with Amanda Guerra and Leesman's first interview after the crash.
Amanda, I know you talked with her right after she found out her son was going to be okay.
Yeah, that's right, Meredith. We were the first station to talk to Jessica and her son as soon as they got out of the hospital. She said she was sitting in her hospital room actually watching NBC5 when she first saw that video of her and what unfolded here behind me. She says looking back, she wasn't even thinking. It was simply that motherly instinct.
Oh my God. I'm just was an angry mama. That's it. Had precious cargo in the car and you messed with the wrong one.
Oh! It wasn't even 3 seconds after this robbery suspect slammed into her van. Mom Jessica Leesman was out of the car and in his face.
And I turned around and I asked my son, are you okay? And he was like, yeah. So I jumped out the car and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you're in a school zone. What are you thinking? And he couldn't say anything, you know, and I mean, I was just angry.
So angry, her boyfriend nearly had to hold her back, then helped Jessica wrestle the man to the ground, where she still taught him a lesson.
Didn't care about who he hurt or anything. So while he was standing there, I made sure I told him, you better hope my son's okay.
My mom, she did put him in his place, and I'm glad that he in jail because to be honest, whenever I was in the car, I thought I died.
For Jessica, it was almost too much.
You know, I just lost my 4-year-old child on the second day of school, and to think of something else happening to another one of my kids, I just can't imagine.
She says Jalen, her 4-year-old, died because of a medical condition.
Can't explain how much that hurts. But any parent that's lost a kid knows how much that hurts.
And says she's not going to let anything or anyone hurt her children.
I just hope that he knows better and that, you know, the whole time he's in jail, he's thinking about what he did from the beginning to the end. I don't know what happened or why he was doing it, but I hope that it just replays over and over and over and he feels really stupid for what he did.
And Jessica says the other hard part about this is that she used to rely on public transportation for not only her but her kids. So she saved up a lot of money for that van. And she says now she's not sure how she's going to get around anymore. We're live in Dallas. I'm Amanda Guerra, NBC5.
That is one strong mom. Thank you, Amanda.
Now to Ray Vieta, who has brand new information on the suspect in this case. He is at the Dallas County Jail tonight. Ray?
Meredith, late tonight, police identified the suspect in this wild chase as 40-year-old Trey Alexander. He has a lengthy criminal record dating back to 2004 with charges including marijuana, family violence, and evading arrest. Police say he took them on a wild chase through northeast Dallas that ended in a crash, and for Alexander, will end up in jail tonight. It first started as a carjacking outside a convenience store on Grand Avenue. The driver ran in, left the car running. When he came out, police say 40-year-old Trey Alexander had jumped in. He pointed a gun at the driver before taking off.
Officers located the suspect at Forest and LBJ Service Road.
That's where police began their pursuit, a pursuit that reached speeds past 80 miles an hour. The car at one point seemed to be stopping at a red light, then taking off. On Forest Lane, Alexander even went the wrong way for a quarter of a mile. Then he was headed down Walnut Hill Road, where he crashed into Jessica Leesman's van. Her boyfriend, Charles Cook, was in the passenger seat.
All of a sudden, before the light turned green, I heard screaming, and then I heard the crash, and then our car started moving he was trying to get out, and she was like, no, you ain't going nowhere. Look what you did to my car.
Police hot on his tail arrived moments later. They arrested Alexander and discovered a gun inside the car.
I just thank God that he didn't pull a gun out. If he had a gun, I just thank God that he didn't pull it out, because I could have easily been shot, and she could have easily been shot. And if she was shot, then, you know, that's my whole world, and it would have been crazy out here.
Cook is feeling very lucky to have a safe family tonight. Meanwhile, Alexander is facing aggravated robbery as well as evading arrest charges. I did reach out to his family, who tells me he is a good dad, a father of 3, but does have drug problems. We're live in Dallas tonight. I'm Ray Vieta, NBC5.
Thank you, Ray. If you've got our app, check your phone now to see the end of that chase, or go to our website, NBCDFW.com.
Crazy afternoon. All right, turning to the weather now. A cold front has already moved through.
That's going to make it a little bit cooler tomorrow, but Rick, another warm up right around the corner?
Temperatures are going to be bouncing up and down for the next few days. Winter's not done. We'll get more to that later. Take a look at current temperatures. In the 40s, lower 50s. We'll feel the effects of the cold front that we had today tomorrow when those temperatures go down. Let's look at our future conditions, and we'll start with 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, temperature of 38, so there will be a chill in the air. Notice the wind will be out of the north at about 9 miles per hour. That'll bring that wind chill down into the lower 30s. Tomorrow afternoon, it's lower 50s. That's below normal. Nothing we can do about that. Watch what happens though as we go into Friday. There you see about 3:30 on Friday. Look at that, 66 degrees DFW with a southwest wind. Oh, that's a nice warm wind for us, but I tell you what, winter is not done. I'll explain at 10:17.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Rick. Gripping testimony in the first day of the American Sniper murder trial. By now you know the basic facts. Eddie Ray Routh is accused of killing Chris Kyle and Chad Littlefield 2 years ago. But now emotional testimony is revealing much more about the 2 men who were murdered, as well as the accused shooter.
The widow of the most lethal American sniper was the first to take the stand. Taya Kyle was tearful as she recalled their life together and his life at war in Iraq. Next was Judy Littlefield. Today would have been her son Chad's 38th birthday. She said he was a clean-living family man who just wanted to help Routh, who was struggling after serving overseas. Routh's defense hinges on one point made by his attorney.
But when he took their lives, he was in the grip of a psychosis. A psychosis so severe at that point in time that he did not know what he was doing was wrong.
Routh's attorney says even Kyle and Littlefield knew something was wrong as they headed to the shooting range.
Chad Littlefield was sitting right next to him. He texted him that this dude is straight up nuts.
But the prosecutor argues none of that matters because after the shooting, Routh confessed to relatives and knew what he'd done was wrong.
He admits that he murdered these 2 men, that he'd used drugs and alcohol that morning, and that he knew what he was doing was wrong.
The trial continues tomorrow, and we'll be there following the testimony. You can get up-to-the-minute coverage on NBCDFW.com.
Right now, investigators are on the scene of a deadly wreck in Fort Worth. That's one of the news stories since we saw you at 6 o'clock. MedStar tells us the driver of an SUV veered off the highway just north of 287 and rolled down an embankment. The driver was thrown from the vehicle and died. Fort Worth police are investigating what caused the wreck. And CBS 60 Minutes correspondent Bob Simon has died in a car accident. The scene in New York City is still active right now. Police say Simon was a passenger in this town car when the driver hit another car. Simon's career spanned 5 decades. He was 73 years old. And right now, a big show of support in the grief-stricken college town of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Thousands of students from UNC, NC State, and Duke mourned the murders of 3 Muslim students. The victim's family claims a neighbor shot them over their religion, but police say the shooting was over a parking dispute.
A heartwarming scene in Fort Worth. Dozens of officers, doctors, and nurses lined up to give Sergeant Shane Drake a proper send-off. There he is. Tonight he's home from the hospital nearly 2 weeks after a deadly shootout. Our Ben Russell was there for Sergeant Drake's big moment. Ben?
A very big moment, Brian. You may remember this is the officer who was one of two sent to do a welfare check on a man, only for police to tell us that man opened fire out of nowhere. Since then, it's clear a lot of people have been pulling for this man, including his fellow officers, who their motto here says they are dedicated to protect.
Probably this is the greatest day that we could have, the day where he gets to go home.
He is Sergeant Shane Drake, who spent the last 13 days at Texas Health Harris Methodist Hospital. This is not only the first time we're seeing him, it's the first time many of his fellow policemen and women have laid eyes on him since his shootout with a suspect.
It's awesome.
Officer Brandy Salazar has a special appreciation for this moment. She trains her fellow officers how to use their tactical medical kits, like the one immediately applied to Sergeant Drake after taking bullets to his hand and stomach.
The medical treatment that they gave to Sergeant Drake possibly and probably did save his life.
With his wife by his side, Sergeant Drake made the trip to his waiting vehicle. He then stood with some assistance before heading off to continue his recovery at home.
There's not one person in our department that wouldn't give any bit of himself to help Shane out. I think the best message we can show him is that we care. It makes us so happy. We can't tell you what a great day it is for us.
And tonight here, the other side of the Fort Worth police vehicles say service with respect. And you want to talk about respect, look at those people in scrubs who you no doubt noticed on either side of that receiving line. That was many members of the medical staff there at the hospital who came out to wave goodbye to send him off, saying they just wanted to thank that man for his service to this community. Live in Fort Worth, Ben Russell, NBC 5.
He looks great. Ben, thank you. Bicycle trouble, the serious new recall in just minutes.
Plus, a young woman killed in her parked car. How friends are remembering her tonight.
A high temperature in the 70s, a high temperature in the 30s. I have them both on the 7-day. Find out if there's any snow in 5 minutes.
$500 million up for grabs. Do you have the Powerball winner? The jackpot numbers are coming up.
Three terrifying times in 3 years.
It was scary, it really was.
Stranded high above the Dallas Zoo.
Scary because I'm scared of heights.
NBC 5 investigates the trouble on the tracks.
And then all of a sudden the train kind of lurched.
And a new plan to keep you safe. Tomorrow at 10.
Tonight, a memorial is growing along one of the busiest streets in Dallas. 34-year-old Emily Javati had just wrapped up a workout in Uptown when she was hit and killed by a suspected drunk driver on McKinney Avenue. Bianca Castro joins us live from there. Bianca.
Meredith, I can tell you that suspected drunk driver is out on bond tonight. This is where the accident happened, and this memorial is where this woman, loved by so many, lost her life. The sign reads, "For the girl that loved everything and everyone," and it's how friends describe 34-year-old Emily Javati.
She was just able to bring out the best in people.
But about 5:30 Tuesday evening, police say Emily was reaching into the backseat of her car, parked along busy McKinney Avenue, when this man, 23-year-old Travis Elwell, plowed into the back of her car. Police say Elwell was speeding, and the impact pushed Emily into the pole, where tonight a memorial is growing.
We all really connected on more of a family than just a friend level.
Some of her closest friends gathered today at the same place they were supposed to meet up with Emily last night. On tap, a night of music. Emily played the violin. But tonight, anguish and grief for the woman gone too soon.
She was just one of those bright lights of advocates and people who loved music, loved art, loved making Dallas, Texas the most artistic, wonderful place that it could possibly be.
And a close family friend told me tonight that the parking situation here at Cole Park has always been a problem. There's simply not enough of it. And now there's talk about taking those concerns to City Hall. Live in Dallas tonight, Bianca Castro, NBC 5.
All right, Bianca, thank you. We'll check your child's bike right now for a handlebar hazard. Marin Mountain Bikes is recalling its tiny trail bicycles and MBX 50. There's an issue with the handlebar, which could cause the rider to lose control and crash. No reports of any injuries yet, but if your child has one of these bikes, contact Marin for a replacement part.
Tonight, we know the newest, most modern plane in the American Airlines fleet will serve North Texas first.
The 787 Dreamliner will launch in May between DFW Airport and Chicago O'Hare. Just a month later, the 787 will start flying from DFW to Beijing, China, and Buenos Aires, Argentina. We can also give you a first look at the plane's interior with touchscreen monitors at every seat, dimmable windows, and a little more legroom.
Yeah, I'd say.
It is the 5th biggest lottery jackpot ever, and tonight you just might have the winning ticket.
Could be you. NBC5's Kevin Coakley live in Arlington tonight with the winning numbers in tonight's Powerball drawing. Kevin.
And that winning jackpot, that jumped again tonight. You know, they stopped selling tickets here at 9 o'clock tonight, so here are the numbers you're waiting for. 25, 11, 54, 13, 39, and the Powerball is 19. With 564 million reasons to play, stores everywhere were busy.
There you go, sir. Those
Thank
are the
you,
winning
sir.
tickets.
More than 25,000 tickets a minute were being sold tonight in Texas alone.
Yes, I feel lucky.
Many people lined up to play at the store in Euless, which sold a winning $1 million ticket on Saturday.
Powerball. 20 each.
Frank Slickaway spent $40 to buy 20 Powerball tickets.
It just said I had 20, and the wife said, "Get me 20 also." And I said, "Well, you're going to have to pay me when I get home, or else this is all mine."
With $500 million up for grabs tonight, business at the store has never been better.
It's kind of been like hectic for us too, because there are a lot of people coming and waiting. It's been like a big crowd.
Long lines formed all day at Chuck's Grocery in Arlington,
Just like everybody else trying to win the big bucks.
which sells more lottery tickets than any other store in Tarrant County.
Winning number right here. Winning number.
Each customer convinced they have tonight's winning ticket.
If I win, I know that I will help a lot of people. That's my main goal. The first thing I would do is I would think about others. I wouldn't even, it'd be last.
So if I don't win, that guy should win, I think. That number right there, 500 million, that jumped up to 564 tonight because so many people were buying tickets. And if no one wins tonight, it's going to jump up again to 650 million on Saturday. Live in Arlington, Kevin Coakley, NBC5.
Thanks, Kevin. That's when I'll play, when it jumps up a little
It needs
higher.
to get up just a little bit higher, you think?
700, right?
Yeah, $500 million, boy.
Crazy.
I don't know.
It's real.
Hey, I'm not even sure I want to hear this forecast.
There's a lot of good to it.
Okay.
And then there's some, there's some winter in it. Probably. We'll see. It's still early. But I'll tell you what, tomorrow will be chillier than today. We're looking at 52 tomorrow. But then we shoot up to 64 Friday. 70, hello, winter, on Saturday, and then it gets cold again on Sunday, and that's not even the coldest on my 7-day forecast. Look outside. It's a decent night. We had the cold front come through. It came through earlier today. It didn't really drop temperatures too much. We didn't anticipate that it would. Okay, it's going to be the chillier day will be tomorrow, but then it gets milder on us. Cold fronts come in Sunday and Tuesday. They'll both have a bite to them, but the one on Tuesday looks to be a little bit stronger, and it will feel more like winter as we go into next week. As we look at microcasts, we've got some rain and clouds off to the southwest. That system stays to the southwest, so we're just sunny and chilly for our Thursday. Friday looks great, lots of sun, and temperatures will be bouncing up into the 60s. It looks good. Let's talk about those temperatures, starting with tomorrow morning. Kind of a cool start to the day, if not even cold. 39, University Park, Dallas right around 40, Grand Prairie at 38, Eagle Mountain Lake, 36 degrees. Normal low is right around that point, and then high temperatures tomorrow afternoon, Dallas 54, Garland 53, Plano about 51, 52 at Bedford and Southlake, Denton and Justin, and that is below average. We go into Friday, and those temperatures do increase into the 60s most areas. Some upper 50s off to the east. Athens at 59, 61 Corsicana, mid 60s around here, and mid to upper 60s out west. Saturday looks good, but brewing to our north on Saturday is that cold front. It comes in on Sunday. That's why our temperatures drop. Then we kind of moderate. Monday doesn't look that bad, upper 50s, but here comes some rain on Monday at the same time. Here comes another cold front. Cold front plus the moisture around, that's necessarily not a good thing. And this will be cold air, 59 degrees on Monday, but temperatures Tuesday afternoon likely in the 30s. And you get that cold air with the moisture, we'll see, maybe some wintry precip. Tonight, though, it'll be dry, colder with a brisk wind, 38. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, chilly, a high of 52. And your 7-day forecast, follow the bouncing temperatures up to 64 Friday, 70 Saturday, Back down to the lower 50s on Sunday, upper 50s Monday. Rain chances look decent. Then it gets cold. 42 Tuesday, 38 for a high on Wednesday. Hello.
Valentine's Day.
Late
Perfect
February.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, great. Yeah, absolutely. Nice and warm.
We'll focus on that.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
That's
From Chevy Chase to Jimmy Fallon, the biggest SNL stars are getting ready for a big reunion.
Plus an update on Mavericks guard Rajon Rondo. Newey is next with the sports.
NBC5 Sports Director Newey Scruggs.
Mavs guard Rajon Rondo was on the practice court today getting some work, and still no word if he will need surgery to fix the fractures in his face. He's missed the last 6 games. Dallas looking to head into the All-Star break on a good note. Monte Ellis did start. Pick up the action third quarter. It's J.J. Barea nailing the 3-ball. Dallas goes up 9. Barea with 15 points in the quarter, 22 overall. Jazz keep it close. Under 30 seconds to go in the game. Monte Ellis gets picked. Gordon Hayward, that's a dunk. Mavs up just 1. Now it's 10 seconds to go. Utah with a chance to tie. Ellis makes a steal, and Dallas holds on to win the game 87-82. College hoops, TCU taking on Texas down in Austin. The drum, Kyan Anderson had 11 points for the Horned Frogs, but Javon Felix with 16 points for Texas. He led all scorers, and the Longhorns beat TCU 66-53. Longhorns head coach Rick Barnes gets his 600th win. Texas A&M hosting Georgia down at College Station. Alex Caruso with 20 points for the Aggies, but it's not enough. Bulldogs win 62-53. Former UNLV head coach and Hall of Famer Jerry Tarkanian died today at the age of 84. He led the Runnin' Rebels to the 1990 NCAA championship, which was led by Dallas native Larry Johnson.
I think everybody loved playing for him. You know, I certainly enjoyed watching his teams play.
Well said by Coach Larry Brown. His 25th ranked SMU Mustangs will face the Cougars of Houston tomorrow night down in H-Town. The Mustangs have won 17 of their last 19 games, and tip-off is set for 8 p.m. Coming up, we might have seen the last of Tiger Woods. Maybe, maybe not. We've got the answer for you after the break.
NBC5 Sports is brought to you by the O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama Show.
Welcome back. The Stars had the night off. They'll be in action Friday the 13th when they host the Florida Panthers. The Stars announced today that they've acquired goalie Jonas Enroth from the Buffalo Sabres. In exchange, the Stars sent goalie Anders Lindback and a conditional 3rd-round pick to the Sabres. Tiger Woods is stepping away from golf. He said his game is not acceptable and he will take some time off to improve. He's also dealing with back issues. Woods said he will return when he is tournament ready. The UTA softball program will play its first game in the fully renovated Allen Saxe Field tomorrow night. The Mustangs will take on Incarnate Word. First pitch is set for 7 p.m. A couple of women's basketball scores to pass along. K-State beat TCU 93-79, and 3rd-ranked Baylor beats Oklahoma 89-66. Sports.
Ooh, all
Thanks,
righty.
Newey.
Coming up, tons and tons of dirt dumped inside AT&T Stadium.
We'll tell you what the big mess is all about next. You gotta see this. This might look like a construction site, but it's actually the inside of AT&T Stadium in Arlington. That's about 500 truckloads of dirt just dumped all over the floor. It's for this weekend's Monster Energy Supercross race. The main event is Saturday night.
Cool.
Valentine's Day is this Saturday.
But the Fort Worth Zoo gave one of its sweethearts an early gift. Check out this heartwarming picture of the zoo's gorilla opening a Valentine. Inside that box were plenty of treats like the lettuce you see there, along with some special activities.
Right. Saturday Night Live celebrating 40 years this weekend.
Every host, every musical act, and every cast member was invited to take part in Sunday's anniversary special. Seth Meyers is among the celebrities looking forward to the extravaganza while reminiscing about his time on SNL.
My first memory of that first week was just try not to do anything that will get you fired.
The Oscars have nothing on SNL 40th. That's all I'll say.
You can catch the 3-hour SNL 40th anniversary special Sunday night starting at 7 right here on NBC5.
Jimmy Fallon, of course, another SNL alum we can expect to see on Sunday's special.
You will see him in a few moments on The Tonight Show. Here is a sneak peek.
Hey guys, Hugh Grant is here. Charles Barkley is here. Hallway Golf, we got stand-up from Kyle Kinane. It's really funny. You got to watch Right Next. It's a great show.
He's great on SNL, too.
Have a great night, everyone.
See you tomorrow.